abuse I take. See, that's the problem with all women in the United States. No woman in this country gives a fuck if a man is abused. No man in this country gives a fuck if a man is abused. What you care about is forcing us to do your bidding. If we don't do what you want right when you want, you druggy whores just slander our name. How dare I say that, right? It's a horrible thing. But let's take a look at the druggy whores who slandered my name. Natalie Bollinger, on drugs. Alicia Bollinger, on drugs. Maddie Boa, on drugs. Then you pretend that I'm on drugs. You slander my name hoping nobody will fucking listen to me. All three of them druggy whores pulled the same bullshit. Now let's focus on the three people whose names are in the title of this. Let's start with Anna Saul. She did some pretty horrible shit, didn't she? You goddamn right she did. She wanted to pretend that the messages between her and Tim Beeson in late 2017, after she and her friends had made my life hell for over a year, Anna Solves wanted to pretend that that happened before the situation in Virginia. We were friends when I went to Virginia. But Anna Solves, this lady, she's just some internet goddamn nut job. Doesn't give a holy fuck about anybody but herself. But she feels that it's her place to make me a target by slandering my name. Same as Mike Boudet. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. I do mean that. I hope all of you live through exactly the kind of hell that you've put me through. But you never will you? There are no consequences if you pick a disabled homeless man. Just like Natalie did. Just like Mike Boudet did. Just like Tim Beeson did. Just like Ted Bollinger did. Just like Maddie Boa did. Just like Jonathan Hickson did. Y'all thought this shit was okay and you still think it's okay. You get to see no matter what, nobody fucking gives a shit about the abuse. When you say you can't do something because of your job, no, don't fucking bullshit me. You can take it upon yourself as a human being to do the right fucking thing instead of hiding like a fucking coward. You guys who are pissed off at me because I recorded conversations with you that showed that these fucking websites that I'm being fucking harmed over lied. And then you pretend I'm a bad person for telling the truth. No, fuck you. Fuck you. You play victim because I told the truth. No, fuck you. You pretend that I'm a predator because I recorded you being predatory. You're out of your fucking mind, you dumb cunt. All these people have done is try to convince people not to look at evidence. All these people have done is intentionally make me a target. You fucking cowards! You fucking pieces of shit! Happy birthday to me! Right! You know when the last time I saw Natalie Bollinger was? On my birthday in 2016. Anna Solves wanted to pretend that Natalie Bollinger, not just inviting me, but pressuring me to go see her in Virginia under threat of fucking suicide. And this dumb cunt wants to intentionally pretend the messages between Natalie Bollinger and her predator, as well as my predator, Tim Goddamn Beeson, in 2017 was somehow proof that I had stalked Natalie in 2016. Wanted to pretend that Natalie Bollinger playing victim in 2017 to have me harmed for speaking up was somehow proof that I had stalked her over a year earlier. Fuck you! Nobody cares how much I'm fucking harmed! Fuck the United States and everyone in it! If there's one thing I wish for every American, I wish that you are treated like a homeless person. I wish you were treated like a rapist. I wish you were treated like a man. Now, how many of you are angry at my words? Hateful at my posts? How many of you have gone out of your way to try to destroy evidence that I tell the truth? How many of you have shown yourselves to be the most cowardly people on the planet? See, when people want to tell me what I owe soldiers, I kindly remind them that killing people in other countries is not fighting for our rights here in the United States. No soldier fights for my rights. It's quite the opposite. I fight for theirs. When they come home, they don't want to be treated like a man. Treated like they must be a rapist because they were fucking born with a dick. When they come home, they don't want to be treated like they must be a rapist because they have a penis. They don't want to be victimized and treated like they must deserve it because they're mentally ill for having PTSD. It's disgusting. They don't want to be out here on the streets of the United States of America after fighting for our country and fighting for our rights. Who is it that's fighting for their rights as men? Who is it that's fighting for their rights as disabled people? Who is it that fights for their rights as homeless? Thank you, sir. That's right, it's me. The guy y'all want to call crazy. It's my 43rd birthday today. That's right. I was born October 18th, 1980 in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, 10:27 a.m. to Brian David Schwartz and Angela Kay Schwartz. Her maiden name is Bruns, and now she's married to a guy named Scott Wade. I don't mind telling my whole life story, but most people don't want to hear it. They want, well, obviously, not recognize another human being as a human being, or their experiences. Then there's the idea that if you're born with a penis, you must be a rapist. Don't worry, sir, I have no fear of you raping me. Thank you. Do what?
Keep your shirt on, you'll be fine.
Yes, sir. So what have we taught American women? Go out and get a bunch of freebies. Play men for goddamn fools. And of course, we need to stop calling it the friend zone, because it's not. It's a box for all your tools. When he no longer has a use, you throw them away. Right? So this Anna Solves lady, just like all these other folks, want to jump around the timeline. They want to go, oh, because Natalie Bollinger played victim in 2017. That must mean that Sean stalked her to Virginia in 2016. Now we're going to ignore literally every piece of evidence. Every single piece of evidence that doesn't show their false narrative. See, here's the thing. When you put two and two together, that being their evidence and mine, you realize that I'm the victim, not them. You realize how disgusting human beings really are, especially police officers, especially women, especially the media. Here in the United States, a disabled homeless man is assumed to be guilty. And every single person who works for the government, as far as the courts and the criminal justice system goes, every single one of them knows that it's corrupt and that homeless people don't have an honest chance in hell, no matter how innocent they are. Homelessness is one of the few biases that transcends gender. As soon as a woman becomes homeless, she's not considered a real human being by any of you anymore. She must be a dumb druggy whore who's out there by choice. She must have chose it. She must have chose it. She must have chose it. Y'all are disgusting pieces of shit, every goddamn one of you. Natalie Bollinger was a world-class piece of shit, too. See, for a time there, I thought she was a good person who actually cared. But she did the same thing Jamie Curtis did. Wanted to play victim. Needed a rescue. All right, I kept my word. I helped Jamie get away from James Payton and helped her get her son away from James Payton. I helped Natalie Bollinger to get away from Tim Beeson. When Natalie asked for my help, I showed up. When Jamie asked for my help, I showed up. When I needed help, Jamie looked the other way. When I needed help, Natalie Bollinger looked the other way. See, I went to Virginia in 2016 because we planned the trip. Me, Natalie, Alicia, and Maddie Boa. But none of you want to hear that. And every time one of these fucking web sleuth groups spreads more slander, I get more abuse. None of my friends or family gave a fuck. They pretended to care when there was money in it. And when the money was gone, they were gone. And then because I have a penis, you tell me it's my fault. I got taken advantage of because I wanted to. Isn't that right? Anytime it's a man's fault that he's victimized. Anytime. If he's raped, it's his fault for being there. If he's assaulted over a woman's slander, it's his fault for being there. It's his fault for being born with a penis. It's his fault because anything with a penis is rapey. And every woman in America plays on that. The ones who don't, keep that in reserve because they know they can. Can I think of anything more disgusting than being an American? No, I cannot. Possibly Christian, maybe. Maybe. But currently not even that. See, it's Americans who are allowing these imaginary things to control their lives. And they use these imaginary things like they're gods and they're devils as excuses. Oh, I can't do anything. I'm not God. And that's why you'll never do anything meaningful. You've already decided that you're useless. Well, if you're useless, don't pretend to give a shit. I don't have time for cowards. Samuel Ramos typed, yo, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Samuel. I get that there's a lot of people that don't like me, but they don't like me over slander and over things that I was forced to do to try to get heard. There's only 2 situations where I threatened people's lives. One of them was right after my grandma's funeral. Now, mind you, I'd literally had hundreds of threats against my life. Samuel Ramos, if you retract another message, I'm just going to block you. Be true to your words. If you fuck up your words, that's fine. Just admit you fucked up, no problem. But if you're going to erase stuff, you're fucking with me. You're playing head games. You're hiding things. One of my most important rules is never trust an adult who asks you to keep secrets. Well, if they're trying to keep secrets, if they're going to say something to me, but they're going to hide the fact that they said it, they're not doing anything good. Lots of my friends told me they were going to come forward about what they knew, about the fact that I had gone to them for help, about how they had been too busy, but they never did. They kept on telling me, be patient, be patient. How much abuse do you expect me to take? Be true to your words. If you fuck up, just admit you fucked up, no problem. If you admit that you fucked up, I can work with that. If you hide the fact that you fucked up, I will never trust you again. Ever. And that doesn't make me a bad person. That makes me a realistic person who pays attention to patterns of human behavior. That's the thing with Natalie Bollinger. She was embarrassed, so she slandered my name. Didn't think there was any big problem with it. Alicia Bollinger slandered my name too. Didn't think there was any big problem with it. She just didn't want to be embarrassed. To this day, she doesn't give a shit about the abuse that I take, or the fact that I've never been allowed to defend myself against any of these allegations. Not in court, not to the media, nowhere. I just have to take the abuse until someone actually gives a shit. And how many of these people who pretended to give a shit actually helped me to turn this stuff in? None of them. Not a single one. Not a single one. To this day, not one of these people has helped to turn it in. Now, a few strangers have helped me to try to turn in some of the abuse that I take over those situations. But in reality, they don't actually give a shit. They're going to dip out the first chance they get. They're going to try to hide their involvement. I speak out about predators for exactly that reason. I record the conversations with these pieces of shit for exactly that reason. when they lied to me and then later on say that I slandered their name by repeating what they said, if you're going to tell me that people are threatening to kill you and your friends and family and that's the reason you're not helping me, I'm going to fucking speak out about it. When you want to throw a tantrum because I'm letting out your personal business, it's not your personal business. It's your excuse for not coming forward, for not telling the truth. Was your family really threatened, Sarah Bacon? Or are you playing head games because you're an alcoholic fuck? Right? Good questions. Rob Gavagin slandered the fuck out of my name and then wanted to pretend like he cared, but he didn't. Rob Gavagin's a world-class piece of shit just like the rest of you. Just like the Gaza Strip being bombed. If people bomb the United States, well, I can't rightly defend the people of the United States or the United States government. This place is just too fucking disgusting. The people are too fucking disgusting. Most of you don't know the difference between nice and good. Now, if you look at the messages between Natalie Bollinger and I in 2016, while we were still friends, you see that it was her idea, Maddie Bowe's idea, Alicia Bollinger's idea. You also get to hear how, and see for yourselves, how these predators aren't going to show the evidence that these people lied. They'll show Natalie Bollinger's words. They won't show the evidence that she lied. They'll show Tim Beeson's words, but they won't show that he lied. Is Anna Solves going to admit that she intentionally lied to make me a target? Because it was more entertaining that way? Is she going to admit that she went out of her way to bounce around on the timeline? Oh, look, Sean eventually threatened somebody back after Natalie was dead. So that must make him guilty. May you all roast in hell. You know, here's the thing. In World War II, we dropped a bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. But that was humane compared to the fire bombs. The M69 incendiary bomblets that we dropped. Yeah, those things were scary. Stacked in packs of 36. They dropped napalm on Tokyo. The largest death toll of any city, any single day's bombing ever in the history of humanity was not Hiroshima. It was not Nagasaki. It was Tokyo. And it was napalm. So they dropped these cluster bomblets. One bomb opens up, 36 bombs come out of it. Each one of them with a white phosphorus and black powder fuse. Impact. As soon as it hits something, blows up and shoots that sock full of napalm up in the air, about 100 foot. The people of Japan, the people of Tokyo, nearly every city in Japan was bombed that way, by the way. That'd be a horrible way to go. See, I burnt the shit out of my hand. Shit fucking hurts. But guess what? That's nothing compared to the Japanese people being burned to death alive. You notice how them youngins commit crimes against me over somebody else. That's right. Christian was threatening to kill them youngins, and they decided to target me over it. That Wolnez feller targeted me for speaking up and recording the abuse. I also recorded the abuse from him. He's angry that he got recorded doing bad shit, but he keeps doing bad shit. See, all these predators, all of them do the same thing. They do predatory shit over and over again, knowing that the police don't care, my family doesn't care, I have no friends, so that magically makes it okay. And then we got Anna Solves and Rob Gavagin. Nobody gives a shit about the fucking truth. You just want somebody that you can hurt, that nobody gives a fuck about, because you can do it again and again and again. And you'll get a big head and do it to other people just like me. And then you'll make a mistake. You'll do it to somebody that people actually give a shit about. And like always, you'll whine like a mule that you're just a poor innocent pawn in all this. You're just a victim. Oh no, you didn't assault him or threaten to kill him and his friends and family. You're afraid for your life. No, go fuck yourself. There is nobody in this country I trust for a reason. There's lots of people I like. There's not one human being in this goddamn country that I can trust. Because all of you are sexist against men. All of you are slaves to the bias of men owe you. Because they were born with a penis. Meanwhile, you idiots want to pretend like you know what the fuck is going on. You show your privilege by making suggestions that don't exist in the real world. Well, why don't you get a pro bono lawyer? There's no such fucking thing. There is literally no such thing when you're a homeless and disabled male who has been painted as some super psycho serial killer rapist. All it takes for a man to have to go through that is using one simple word. The word no. And you know what? That's not even necessary, is it? It ain't just married man that'll tell you, if you stay, it'll be bad. But if you leave, it'll be worse. How dare you leave an abusive woman? How dare you leave abuse? How dare you? How dare I leave Virginia after Natalie slandered my name? How dare I go to see my friends and family in Boulder, Colorado? How dare I? Well, she can't have that, can she? Her pride is hurt. Her self-esteem is hurt. She didn't get what she wanted right when she fucking wanted it. Oh, poor her. But right and wrong don't make a difference. My family didn't fucking care. My dad, well, actually they did care, didn't they? They cared to hide what pieces of shit that they've been their entire lives to me. How much they have all taken advantage of me physically and financially throughout my lifetime. And then they want to pretend like they didn't do it. It was someone else. No, it wasn't. My dad went to prison for selling cocaine. He says it's because some cop was out to get him, but he admits that he sold the cocaine. Yeah. Dad, you sold the cocaine. It's not like you got him just a little bit for him to go party with. No, you had 38 individual baggies, dumbass. Yeah, you were fucking dealing, you dumb cunt. Me and Eric grew up in the system, getting beaten and getting raped. Because of shit that you fucking did, Brian David Schwartz, you sick fuck. The least you could have done is admit that I had Tourette syndrome. You could have at least admitted that. Instead, people pretend that because I have Tourette syndrome, that I'm a fucking tweaker. Not that it fucking matters. I don't have family that gives a shit. You'll fucking hide like a goddamn coward. My dad had 3 chances to help me when I needed it. On all 3 of those occasions, he took advantage of me and went out of his way to guarantee that I would be harmed for the rest of my life. Went out of his way to guarantee that I didn't have a bank account or a place to stay. Went out of his way to bully me into doing what he wanted. Either I do what he wants or he will hurt me. And that's the way it's always been. But I can't even hope for anything with tits to understand. There are women who used to be men who you would think would understand because they've been through it. But no. That's not how it ends up being, is it? No, we're not allowed to come forward about our abuse because women always have it worse. Gay people always have it worse. Black people always have it worse. People in houses always have it worse. Like hell you do. There's 2 things I want for my birthday, and I only need one. I either need a friend or family member who cares that I'm being abused and is willing to help put a stop to it. Or I need somebody to kill me. Are either of those birthday presents you're willing to deliver? No. You don't give a fuck about me. You come here for entertainment.